Dramatic pause and go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Live show. I'm going to call it the Scab Show. John knows what that means in the world of sports. So he's cleverly hired me to be the host for the show. I think he's putting me on the spot, to be quite honest, to see how well I handle the pressure, because most of the time this happens, he's not here.
I'm not here. Yeah,
he's not here to judge. He's not here to oversee how well the show goes, unless he watches the playback. So I'm gonna kind of be fronting, steering the ship, so to speak. But we're back. We had a couple shows off. I couldn't make one show. I apologize, everybody. I do have other lines of work that I have to engage in. If I could do this for a healthy salary, we'd have a show every night. I promise you that. So we got some wonderful people on the show. As a matter of fact, this is when the show comes to life, everyone. This is this is when the chat jumps out of the chat to your screen right at home. We got Peggy Mad Cats, Vape Cats in the house. Peggy, welcome to the Real Live, the Real Deal show. Welcome
the real thing.
Welcome to the
Tim, she missed
limelight,
you.
as they say.
She missed you yesterday. I think last week she was wanting to hear you call out her name live while
she got it in person.
It was very sad.
Face to face.
Yes.
I know.
Peggy, insert your own name.
I medicate heavily on the nights when I can't be on the show, because I realize how many people I'm letting down over the course of a 1 hour show. We got Sir King Charles Gardner back on the show, everyone. Always a pleasure to have you here, Charles. And John, you failed already as a co-host.
I know. I'm looking for it, dude. I'm looking for it. There it is.
Didn't put there. Yes. Got to have the graphics to go along with that. Welcome to the show, Charles. Good to see you. I'm going to introduce our guest for the evening here in a few minutes. We have John, the silent partner, Truncali, co-hosting the show tonight. So welcome back to the show, John. Good to see you. Good to see you here on the show. We got Shelly Sell You the Farm Rogers with us tonight. She called me. She said she had a nice little shoreline property that she wanted to sell me, kind of the shape of a panhandle. Starts with the letter F, and I was like,
it has zero grass that I have to mow.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
part of it all.
well,
Yes.
I'll take it then. I'll buy that for $1. I'll buy that for $1.
It comes with iguanas. It comes with iguanas, Timmy.
Getting
It
ready
comes
to
with
go.
a whole bunch of iguanas.
No, that's further south. There's no iguanas up here.
Falling from the trees at this point.
Yes.
When it gets too cold. There's a funny story I could tell you guys, but it would take the whole hour, and I'll save it. But I went through a frozen iguana experience one time. It freaked the shit out of me, and I didn't know what to do. I resorted to layers of towels and a hair dryer to warm him back up. It came back to life. It was my cousin's iguana. To this day, I don't think he knows about that story. But anyway, I'll tell you guys that story another time. I'm your wonderful scab host for the evening. But our guest for the evening, a very interesting gentleman, and I'm sure he'd be happy to fully explain everything that he's about. We'll touch on. We'll give a brief synopsis. We have Timothy. It says Timothy, his formal name. We're going to go by Tim tonight. We have Timothy D. Vermillion on the show. DSW, M.Ed, LCSW, BCD, I'll read a little bit about what he does, and I just want everybody, don't confuse him with Timothy B. Schmidt. He plays for the Eagles.
He plays for the Eagles.
Timothy D. Vermillion is doing the real work in America. So anyway, around the horn, John, how's your week been besides your eyes?
It's been good. It's been cold. First time in a while that I've had to turn the heater on here in California. So we've been hitting like, shut up, you two. Anyone that lives on the West Coast, be quiet now. Or the East Coast, be quiet. We hit 38. I know that's not cold for you guys, but that's cold for us.
Very cold.
Yes.
That's in that temperature, you guys mock building igloos and stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, I am still the weirdo. I'm still the guy that's got shorts on, his flip flops, and a sweatshirt, and I'm walking around. You know, but it is
touching all the cupcakes in the convernience stores. I know
that's it. Yeah, yeah. And
Peggy,
just,
how has your week been, dear?
My week is great. We're just converting people all over the place, getting them off their disposables. That's our goal for the week, for the year.
I'll put my disposable down.
That's all right.
I won't show anybody the fact that I was Charles, good sir. How has your week been? How has your month? How have your months been since you haven't?
Yes, it's been a bit.
Very good. Busy. I do have one major comment on a topic that just came up a minute ago. Iguanas are good eating.
They are.
I have heard that.
And they're an invasive species.
Yeah, they are.
It is very true. I hear that there's no limit down in Florida. So it changes the game, when they're just a pest in a tree. But when it's your cousin's pet that he's had for years and raised him from a little baby, I wasn't going to roll him on a spit and take my liberties, so to speak. But yes, I've heard that. Not had iguana yet. I've had gator tail. I've done gator tail.
Gator's good.
So
good.
it's
really
in the
good.
same. Lizards much the same. I'm sure iguana tastes
Snake.
like gator.
Snake is very good.
It'll taste like chicken.
Steak
They
tacos.
all-
I've
everything
had snake tacos. Snake tacos.
Put anything in a taco.
That's right.
Yeah, John used to threaten us with eating penguin meat, and we just couldn't.
I
handle
still want to try penguin. I know that's sick and disturbing, but I don't know.
Probably
what
really
it is.
tough. It's like a 100-year-old lobster that you pull up from the bottom of the ocean. Everybody thinks they got a winner, and then it's like chewing raw gristle. Tim, how has your week been, sir?
It's been pretty good. I've been excited to come on and speak with all of you, and looking forward to the show. It is cold here.
We're very happy to have you here.
Yeah, we're excited to have
For coming. Thank you.
Thank you for the invite.
I will go last and just say it's been a busy week, needless to say. Until I get the actual press release to do so, I believe by the next show I'll have some very wonderful news to tell everybody. No, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. But I'll have some very good news to share. I gotta get the official NDA right now. So when I get the release to tell that wonderful news, I will deliver it to the internet world for everyone. But last week I was back in my old stomping grounds in Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC area, touring warehouses and talking about shelving locations, bin taxonomy, and all that fun stuff that everybody just loves to talk about at the dinner table every night. And then last night we went out for a wonderful dinner. We haven't gone to too many shows. Haven't been doing the concert thing, but we got a lot coming up. Going to see Wizards of Winter on Thursday night, which is what I call the poor man's version of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but that's okay because we're going to see TSO on the 14th right afterwards. So it's Wizards of Winter, and then for the big dog. So
Okay,
gonna get
we'll come up and we'll go with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful show. If you've never been to TSO, I highly recommend it. I get the biggest kick out of it because the roots of that entire outfit comes from a band called Savatage, which were big like in the later 80s, early 90s, and they were a metal band. Of course, me being a metalhead and and I love going to the show because it's a rock and roll Christmas thing. And I get a kick out of seeing like the 75 80-year-olds who are like my parents' age, going to those shows and stuff and having a good time. And I'm like, wait a minute, weren't you the same people that were yelling at me to turn my stereo down and telling me it was going to rot my brain? So it's kind of like my iron. It's my irony moment. Yes, I'm like, you have no idea you're watching sabotage right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, exciting stuff. All right, so let's get to Tim here. A lot of people are like, well, why is Tim on the show? I don't want to read the whole entire thing.
No.
But I just thought that we would touch on some of the main points here. It says Tim is a seasoned professional in the field of behavioral health. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the EMDRIA, which I am going to let you explain that acronym, Tim. I'm not going to try to decipher it. He's a veteran from the Iraq War, 24 years of military service. Thank you for your service, good sir.
Thank you for your service, Tim.
Absolutely. And he began his career as a medic. So giving back the whole entire time, saving our boys out in the field. This role laid the foundation for a lifelong commitment to health, mental health, and well-being. He continues to serve in the NJ Army. What does NJ stand for? New Jersey?
New Jersey Reserve.
New Jersey. Yeah. I got that right. Army National Guard is a behavioral service officer with the rank of major. So go ahead and Tim, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and just sort of explain exactly what you do, what EMDRIA is, your mission, and all the different things that you do.
Okay, yeah, elevator pitch, right? So I've been working with the VA for a number of years now. I'm also reserve, so it means I'm a weekend warrior. I don't go all the time. And what I do there is mental health assessments. So I'm constantly doing mental health assessments on service members. And then once they get out, I'm helping transitioning service members and veterans kind of get back into their lives, improve their lives in one way or the other. Historically, within the Guard, I was also working with the Counter Drug Task Force, which I worked out of the DEA and worked with the Public Information Office and with various local organizations like the New Jersey Prevention Networks. And that's how I got into harm reduction in general. So it was through the military. It's part of that Counter Drug Task Force. And then as far as smoking goes, a couple of years ago, I was doing a opiate harm reduction program, and somebody approached me then. It's like, it's like 70,000 plus or minus people that die of opiates, but do you know what the numbers are for smoking? And that's kind of how I ended up getting into smoking harm reduction. And I kept following that up, and that's one of the things that I work on now is trying to get people off cigarettes onto, vapes, alternate forms of nicotine consumption.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the EMDR goes, very briefly, that's one of the main therapies I do for trauma. And I can flex it to use it with trying to get people off of the cigarettes or other compulsions like even gambling or even porn addiction.
Sure, absolutely. We'll take another little diversion here in a minute because there's something very important I forgot to do.
I know. I can't believe you forgot it.
Don't worry. I multitask all day long, and sometimes my SIR list kind of falls out of order. So I'll get back to that. But my question right out of the gate. Veterans retiring and coming out of the military. What's the smoking ratio? Like, is smoking in the military a tremendous problem is due to stress and all that other stuff, or just habitual kind of hive mind thing?
Yes, both of those things, right? So when we get to who smokes more, the civilians or the Army, it's usually Army, and they find it harder to get off of the cigarette because of the places, times, and occasions where they would smoke. They smoke between battles. They smoke in order to get a break, right? Smoke them if you got them. You go out, and that's the only time that you also have camaraderie sometimes. So when veterans or when military people come into the military, sometimes that's the first time that they get to actually meet somebody, is to go out and on a smoke break and kind of have a conversation and get to know people. So it becomes attached to not just the feeling of the nicotine maybe, or the habit, but also now that cigarette means that I belong, right? Or that I'm safe for the moment or something along those lines.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You have that initial urge to smoke when you're a teenager, trying to fit in with everyone else, and even as an adult, being out in the field and being in war situations, even if you're just standing out guarding something somewhere, and someone's smoking, it's that same pressure. Like, hey, he seems to be enjoying it. He seems to be more relaxed. He seems to be, more even more alert because he's smoking. So maybe I should give it a try. I can see the pure pressure, even as an adult being in the military and having everyone around you smoking. We're going to do one serious question, and then we have this fun thing we do with guests. So I'm going to ask you a question here, and it's part of our fun part of the show. And this will depend on whether you upset about 50% of the audience on this question. So,
pressure is on.
The pressure is on. Tim, I know you're from Jersey, and this is a tough question for you. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
It depends. I really have to be hungry, but I don't mind it. It's not always my favorite. It doesn't go well if you drink beer with it, right? So, it's a situationship, right? So it doesn't always work for me, but I can occasion it.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is only if somebody else orders it.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not ordering myself. I'll eat it.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Tim.
Real quick, real quick, I just want to do the roll call before every show. We always say hi to everybody out in the chat. They're a big part of the show. I know the old adage, there's no us without them kind of thing. It's true. Otherwise, we'd just be talking in our bubbles. But let's just go down the roster. I don't have a funny quip thing to say just because I feel bad. I want to keep the show moving. But we got Robert, not on a billboard, lawyer in the house. Good to see you, Robert. Welcome to the show. Peggy's here with us. I've already said hello to Peggy. Who else is in here? Robert has a lot to say. Hold on, Robert. I got to get past all that stuff. What's the M5T for, bro? What's the M5T for? We need to explain that one away. We got Janine Tight Dress Timmons in the house. She added 5414 to the ender. Is that something that YouTube is doing now? Everybody's got like a numerical string at the end of their. Looks like everybody's got something going on. We got Aileen Bell in the house. Good to see you, Aileen. Welcome to the show, Aileen. I'm on the spot. I usually come up with something funny to say, and I'm just trying to keep it. We got Nick Alligator in his pool, Orlando in the house. Nico, good to see you, brother. Welcome to the show. We got Hanma or Hanma. I'm pretty sure that's the first and the last name. Yeah, something with everybody's got numbers and letters and all kinds of code and stuff. Are we in an alternate universe and we need to decipher all this? Exactly. We got and see, there's Jeffrey, I don't own a bear, Zamora in the house, but he's just Jeff Zam. Just something that you would see on the Croft Superstars half hour after you got home from school. It's Jeff Zam, Shazam's younger brother, is in the house. Jeff Zam, Shazam's younger brother. Everybody, say hi. Say hello to Jeffrey Zamora. Welcome to the show, Jeff. We got Steve, the Emoji King, Tottenham 3195 in the house. Good to see you, Steve. Welcome to the show. Who else we got in here? I think I might have. Oh, we got Mallory. Do it your damn self, Gates, with no number at the back end of her name. Mallory, she can get away with anything. She didn't even get like the little string on the end of her name. Who else we got?
That's everybody, Timmy.
That's everybody. Okay, welcome to the show. Sorry for the diversion. Anyway, this is an open forum. Feel free to jump in and ask Tim any questions. You don't need my guidance at all. Anybody else have a question for him right out of the gate? I probably got a handful.
I actually do. Do you vape or do you smoke?
I don't do either now, but I did smoke and then I did vape and then now I don't do either.
Awesome.
A true testament to the harm reduction element.
Let me just say,
go ahead, Charles.
Tim and I stumbled into each other probably a year ago or something on X, and I had so much respect for you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And
Yes.
like, seriously, you're a hero in many ways. And to find someone who really cares for vets and understands harm reduction is just, it's amazing. And there need to be more of you.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Since I was 17, since I went into the military, I've always been striving to care for the warfighter, and my mission continues, right? Even though I'm heading towards retirement myself at this point, but that's been my mission, and it continues to be my mission since at least I was 17.
Peggy.
Question for you
Yes.
there. Wait, leave that one up, John. There was,
Yeah,
I was
bring
getting-
that back.
Janine had it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can
Yeah.
see that on his screen. Can you read that?
I can. Yeah, I as far as the negative attitude towards THR, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, it's not even just in the United States; it's across the globe. 8 million people, are dying globally. It doesn't make sense that we can reduce that to zero on some level. So I don't want to get into too much of the things that are going on in the world right now, but we spend a lot of time and a lot of energy with fentanyl and everything, and it doesn't kill near amount of as much as combustible cigarettes does. So it's crazy that we can't action more than we have so far.
Yeah, I'm with you too, because that kind of bothers me when you see the approach that our politicians and our vice president and president, everybody else up there in Washington D.C., their attack on fentanyl and making it sound like this is the thing that's killing everyone. When we know the numbers, there's 480,000 people die every year to cigarette smoke, but it's become. I hate using the word, but it's become like socially acceptable to be a smoker again. It seems like.
Yeah,
And what, 77 veterans a day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that
the
sound
number
right?
is what the number is. It's not exact because you have to take like 6% of 480,000, which would kind of give you a rough estimate, and then you kind of factor in how many people we know that die from lung cancer, which is about 5,000. And we have a 33% smoking rate from 2016. Has that number changed? It has come down a little bit, which is good. But that's just the smoking rate, right? So if you read the paper that I had put on X recently from, I think it was Military Medical, they talked about people moving to alternative forms of consuming nicotine, which is better for their health. So.
You brought up something earlier when you were talking about first being introduced into THR here as far as vaping. What was your initial thoughts when that discussion came up? What were you thinking? Did you look deep into vaping? What was your thoughts at the beginning? Were you optimistic? Were you like, okay, let me go here and see where this is at and where this is science? How did you go about that process and diving into vaping and THR? So
it started out with just YouTube or just kind of, going around and looking at videos. And I think it was 2016, the E-Valley time period when I was watching something with a doctor being like, this is just a freak accident, right? This is nothing to do with vaping because vaping is used for people to come off of combustible cigarettes, right? Mm-hmm. And I was watching this video and I'm like, yeah, that makes complete sense to me. But they took E-Valley and just like ran with it. I'm like, I don't understand how they just made this a whole scare tactic. And so that's really what got me into exploring all of this even deeper. I'm like, where is this messaging coming from? And that's kind of really what interested me is like, why are things the way they are in terms of this messaging?
One real quick follow-up question. How much did you dive into the product itself, understanding how the system works, the e-liquid, the coils? Did you dive into that? Because I feel like sometimes not all the individuals are not like Mr. Sir Charles there, who it's not just about the science and the numbers. He knows how this product works. He knows what a coil is. He understands, Ohm's law. He understands all these, the whole complete concept of how this product works. I think is important. It's great to know the science, but also understand how this product works. Did you dive into seeing how the coils work? How's the e-liquid made? stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious.
Not too deeply. It's not my strong point, but it
Well,
was.
I'm sure you weren't building coils. I'm sure you weren't making coils.
But yeah, I did go into, the guy that originally made it in China, right, with the idea of trying to get people off of combustible cigarettes, and just kind of read his process, and then also looking at the different types, right, because we have the heated tobacco products too, which is different than the vaping products. So I was looking at how all of these things are different, but I didn't go too deep into it.
Okay.
If
You
I
want me
may,
to-
you
mine-
said,
Yeah, go ahead. One of you
Yeah,
guys.
go ahead, Peggy, go for it.
okay. I was watching the video the other day, and you made the bullet point that just says combustion is the harm. And I really like it because it's short, it's sweet. I like combustion is the harm. Death.
Yeah.
Is it a question? Not really, but I like it.
Yeah, combustion is the harm. If we can get people off of anything combustible, we're going to be doing a huge public service to this country, the world, right? And it's the best thing that we could do is to get rid of that combustion.
Absolutely.
If the
And you're just
numbers
preaching to the choir. We love it.
If the numbers that Janine just shared are correct with American vets, the smoking rate is about 3 times the national average of the general civilian population. That's really stunning.
Yeah, it has come down a little bit according to the VA. Well, the thing with the VA is, though, the VA only gets people that go to the VA. It doesn't get everybody.
Right.
So, it's not a whole picture. But I know that people that go to the VA, they do have a tendency to come down on those numbers. But it's still higher than the general population.
Twice as high, 3 times as high. It's
Yeah.
very high. So
even for a small sample size that you're saying you get at the VA, that's still a pretty high number, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
we're basically down to about 25 million smokers in the United States now. Almost all of them are adults.
Mhm.
And they're primarily low-income people or adults with mental health issues or American vets or LGBTQ or
Don't forget the Native Americans. Don't forget the Native Americans.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, for our indigenous people, I'm
There you go.
use what the most appropriate term is.
Yeah.
American Indians, Native Americans, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody cares about them, as far as I can see, and that's troubling.
Yeah. Especially with, no, I won't get into that. I won't get into the taxing thing. These questions again that I asked they're fun. We'll get to know you a little bit. So your first job, and did you quit or get fired, Tim?
Well, I don't think I've gotten fired from anything, so that's a plus. As far as my first job, I was a little kid trying to get candy, so I was picking like cigarette butts out of rocks when I was like 8 or 9, and then in the summers I would go and there's like shacks outside the beach that the lifeguards go to. I'd be cleaning out those shacks for a couple extra bucks. They weren't, it was under the table, but that was something industrious when I was young.
Yeah, nice. Who's up?
I was going to ask. So, obviously, you're in the field of harm reduction and trying to pass that knowledge and benefit onto those who need it currently. But you said that you used to smoke and then you got into vaping and then you weaned yourself off of that. Like I said, I think that's a testament to really the true trajectory of vaping, and that's really kind of what it was built and meant for. Not to say we can wean off over a course of years, but when did you actually transition from smoking into vaping, and what was your epiphany so that you could take that experience and marry that into exactly what you do? You have it's knowledge based treatment that you're sharing as well.
Yeah, so it's 2025 now, so it was about like 15 years ago, because I was in Hoboken, so I can figure out exactly when I was getting my vapes and where, what flavors I was getting. But it was 2020 is when I stopped smoking, But I'd been smoking on and off until 2020, and then moved on to vaping, and then moved off of vaping. Probably less than a year after that, I was able to move off of vaping.
That's awesome.
What was the flavor that got you?
They had this, well, they had a couple flavors, but it was cotton candy and mint, I think, out of this place that was, it's like a special vape shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cotton candy and mint.
Yeah.
Not at the same time.
So and then short little follow up to that. In part of your therapy, do you recognize the importance of flavors as a big component to switching to vaping? I mean, obviously there are people that could probably tolerate tobacco flavors, or maybe just what they're trying to do, and that's whittle it down to menthols and stuff like that. But do you find that flavors are a huge success to that transition for those veterans that actually succeed with vaping?
No, I don't find because there's not many out there that we can get in my area. We don't get flavors anymore. I do actually like the tobacco flavor. I've had that a couple times. Every once in a while, I'll partake again. But I do believe that flavors are important because if people don't like them, then they're not going to use them. If they're not going to use them, then they're going to fall back to the combustible cigarettes, which is the easy habit. They're just going to go back to what they know.
Right. I got a question for you, Tim. Now that you've been involved with vaping and got a look into the advocacy world and see how it's progressed or hasn't really done much. Let's just put that there. If you were to grade advocacy and what we're doing, what kind of grade would you give us as advocates right now as a whole?
Us. That's a big word. As advocates, I think, and this is, I'm more of an educator than I'd like to consider myself more of an educator and pushing it on the education out than trying to get into politics at all. But trying to get the politicians involved is probably the only way that we're going to do this, and trying to figure out how to do that best. I don't think we've won that battle as advocates.
There's an AG spot available in New Jersey, I hear.
Yeah. No,
I'm just kidding.
Didn't pass by the bar.
Do you feel like there's something we as advocates can do differently? And that's why I like to look outside the box, someone that's just, kind of in the harm reduction portion of it and also a consumer. Do you ever get a chance to kind of look and sit back and see what our message is, how our message could be different? How should we be sharing it? Should there be more science involved? Should there be more consumers, manufacturers? How do you look at it?
Person by person. So I do sit with, my job is to sit with people and talk to them about the issues, trauma and everything. And not, I would say about 25% of them actually smoke combustible cigarettes. So it's not really that much when you, I guess it's almost the 33%, right? I guess that fits the statistic. But I do have that conversation with them, right? To move them off of the cigarettes. And so they are open to that information. They just don't get it from authoritative sources, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think finding authoritative sources would be helpful in the harm reduction piece, right? So that somebody that they can look up to and say, yeah, this person is honest. Because right now, if you're not preaching to the choir, a lot of people are going to say that vaping is just as bad or even worse at this point than cigarettes, and that makes no sense. So we got to figure out that message.
We have someone in a very bad part, and Mr. Birdman out there in Australia who understands all about it.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
G'day, Birdman.
Go ahead, Charles or Michelle there. Charles, you have a question or?
Go ahead, Charles, if you got one.
No, I was just waving.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
Okay. So how many people, or are you finding it easier to convince the upper officers that their people should be vaping and not smoking? In other words, are you seeing it come down at all through the ranks, or you're really having a tough time getting the upper management, people to realize the benefits of vaping?
Yeah, I don't do public service announcements as far as the military stuff goes. It's not something that I do in the military, really. I do that, within the context of the people I know. I'll spread that around. And then those people that I see, sometimes we'll have those conversations when I do, because again, I'll see a portion of like 200, 300 people in a weekend, like 10% of that. So those 30, 40 people that I see, if some of them are smoking, then we'll have the conversation as part of our global assessment there. But yeah, so it's not something that I do at a macro level. It's something in the military, it's more on a micro level.
Okay.
Right.
Charles.
Yeah, Tim, what can you tell us about the VA's current position on tobacco nicotine harm reduction?
Yeah, they're not willing to step in and say that vaping is something that they want to push forward. They do have a lot of NRPs out there, the nicotine replacement therapies out there, and they have a lot of cognitive therapy. They have the phone calls. They have a good, robust program. It's just some of these things that, like vaping, like pouches, that they're not willing to take that step. At this point, I don't know how much more research that needs to happen in order for them to be convinced, but they haven't taken that step. But I'm not willing to say that they're not doing their due diligence. They're doing pretty well in terms of getting the information out. They just need to update that information a little bit.
If you are on a military base and you go into the, what is it called, the commissary?
PX commissary, yeah.
PX. Do they sell cigarettes?
They sell cigarettes, but they don't sell vapes at the moment.
Yeah, they don't sell vape. Well, my son, perfect thing. He's in a sub. They used to, when he first started, they let people take vape devices onto the sub. And then when they cut that off, my son was like, God, it's going to be he doesn't vape, but he knew people that vape. And he goes, Dad, man, 3 months underwater with someone that needs some nicotine is not going to be a good thing. And I was like, no, it's not. I see the treadmill being used a lot. I see a lot of coffee being drunk, and I see a lot of weights.
The Navy prohibited vaping on ships about 3 years ago or so. But, I suppose they could use nicotine pouches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're getting by on, his pouches. But again, my son, I'm his dad. I'm a smoker. He understood. He paid attention to when I smoke, even though he never smoked a cigarette. He noticed that I needed to see the smoke. I needed to see that was coming out of my mouth for satisfaction, because he noticed when I didn't see it, or I was somewhere and I wasn't paying attention, I would light another one up. And I would light another one up until so he picked up on that, and he goes, yeah, these guys, there's still guys that need to see that, have that hand to mouth thing going, see the smoke. All that is all part of the ritual. What you brought up with the VA, do you think it has a lot to do with their opinion towards vaping? It has a lot to do with funding. Would you agree or disagree with that? Meaning Congress funds the VA. If Congress, hey, vaping is no good, we don't want nothing to do with vaping, you start doing this, we're going to pull funding. I'm not saying that that's something that they would do, but do you believe that the money that's coming and assigned for the VA through Congress also has a little bit to do with the fact that vaping isn't sold on barracks and other Army, Navy facilities?
Just don't want to get too political, so we'll say that I can just say that of course money is going to have an impact on anything and everything. But as far as getting any deeper than that, I'm going to step away from that and start talking about who in Congress does what.
I mean, that's how I mean, I always look at the money side of it, and Congress is going to decide where the money goes and who gets how much, and they're going to force their hands a lot of time. I mean, the federal government does it all the time. You don't want to do what a state doesn't want to do what we want you to do, we'll pull funding. And I can see Congress.
Yeah, I do have to say that the VA, if you go download their nicotine, their quit smoking workbook, it does say that nicotine does not cause cancer, right? You know, there's like basically there's nothing wrong with nicotine. And I believe that it also somewhere, maybe not in the workbook, but somewhere they do say that they copy the CDC messaging, right? That if you get off of cigarettes completely, that's the better bet than using dual use. Dual use is frowned upon.
Yeah, I think federal government is having a hard time adjusting to the new reality, which is that the FDA has authorized, it's still a very small handful of safer nicotine vapes, as well as nicotine pouches. And agencies is VA, is the Veterans Administration an agency? So agencies haven't caught up with that yet, which is a little odd. Like the message isn't getting out.
Yeah.
It's like half messaging.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just, I mean, even what Charles is saying, we have statistics on how well the pouches don't work. We have statistics on how bad the gum doesn't work. We have these numbers. It's not like these pouches and this gum have just come out last year. They've been around for quite some time, and their success rate are below 10%, 9, 8, 5, somewhere right around there. So, you know, as a medical, if I was in the medical field and I'm looking at these statistics and these numbers and I'm saying, how as a doctor can I prescribe this guy or suggest that he should try the gum when I know there's an 8% chance it's not, it may work, you know? So for me, I don't understand that whole part of the doctor not suggesting vaping when they see the numbers and they see that it's working for a lot of people, but yet they would rather prescribe therapy. They would rather prescribe gum. They would rather say, hey, try the pouches. You know, we know all those numbers. And it just seems like, well, I don't understand how us as just consumers and regular people, we're not in Congress, we haven't been elected to some office. To me, I don't understand how these people don't see these numbers. They're right there. I mean, they go to the CDC, they can see those numbers. They're all right there. And yet here's a product that we've seen has just taken off. It's helping people. We've had 0 deaths in 20 years due to vaping, you know, and yet this is a product that is just, you know, oh my God, it's going to kill you. I mean, me and Charles, I don't know if the rest of you guys have seen lately on Facebook, but it's gotten way out of hand. Way out of hand is what they're trying to push out there. And it's like the popcorn thing is back again after how many years?
Yeah,
from below deck.
This is troubling, and this is clearly an orchestrated push. Yes. And it started about a week and a half ago. Just like an explosion of what I assume is some combination of paid influencers as well as bots.
Yeah.
They all say variants of the same damn thing, which is scientists have just proved that vaping causes popcorn lung, and none of them share a link to any evidence to back that up. It's an orchestrated thing. I can guess who's paying for that, but I don't know.
I could say it. His name is Bloomberg. Say his name. I don't care. We're gonna have another fun question for you, Tim. You're gonna have to go all the way back to your teens here. All the way back to your teens. The first poster you had on your wall as a teenager, Tim.
Oh goodness. You know, I moved around a lot. And I don't think I had posters on my wall, come to think of it. And, you know, it's something that I carried into, you know, if I wasn't married, I would have nothing on my walls. even today. I'm not a person that puts things on my walls. I have stuff that my significant other is framing for me to put on the wall, but they haven't gotten there. So,
yeah.
I never got into putting things on my wall. So
I have
guess,
two friends that are
came
like
into
that.
one.
There's not a single picture. I have two friends that don't have a single picture hanging because they don't want to put holes in their walls. I go, you can buy that tape stuff. You can buy the
You have to
tape.
take it back, take it down when I have to leave again, you know?
All right. Nothing on Timothy's walls. No Farrah Fawcett poster in the red bikini. No. All right.
I don't think you could see an inch of my wall as a teenager. I think it was nothing but my question is, what is the general reasoning or general story behind how you come into contact with these veterans that you work with to get off of smoking? Do they come seeking your assistance? Are they sent to you? And then do you find that it's that they're just unaware or don't consider vaping as an alternative? They lack information to understand that it's an alternative?
Yes. So the first part of that is that I have told people that I do work with people that smoke, right? Because I use a specific version of EMDR in order to help them get off the cigarette portion. But one of the first things I do is try to move them off of the cigarette, the combustible cigarette, and to something that's less harmful. And I give them some options, having that conversation with them. But I also, a lot of the work that I do is still with the VA. So I try to keep in a certain box so that I'm not crossing any lines there. But I still have the conversation on vaping, but it's not something that I say that, they should do or shouldn't do. It just kind of give them the information and, go ahead and look at what's going on with that and make your own choice. So it's mostly, again, on the micro level there. However, the people I work with, my colleagues, the people that refer to me on occasion for specific smoking related issues.
Oh, okay. So
Janine's
these
got
are
a
people.
question for you there.
Yeah, go. Oh, right here.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody. Yes, I don't think I don't think too many people think about tobacco, right? When they think about harm reduction, they think about heroin. They think about, and they look down on harm reduction when it comes to heroin as well, right? So they'll talk about California, for example, and what happened with the needle exchange programs. And so people have a negative view on harm reduction in general. So, they're usually thinking about those drugs when I'm trying to bring up tobacco harm reduction. So they already have a sour taste in their mouth.
Peggy, you've been quiet. I want you to say something, Peggy.
Just, me, I just sit back and listen. I'm a
I know.
lurker. You had talked your EMDR, because I worked with my clinician on that too. And see if I can say this right. It's kind of like a Jedi mind trick. And you take someone back to a memory of when they were smoking, like if it was a really good time when they were having fun, when they had their first cigarette with their friend, and you make them rethink that, see it in a different perspective.
So,
am I close?
Yes. So in short, whenever a part of EMDR is doing some bilateral stimulation, some dual attention, right? And what we're trying to do is bring up something that has an emotional component, whether it's trauma and it's a negative emotional component, or it's something positive like the pull of a drug or compulsion or combustible cigarettes, for example. What we do is do some odd thing, which is usually eye movements to get their to distract them a little bit. And you can't hold the euphoria of something or the horror of something and being distracted at the same time. And this is all neurons. It's all just biology. So what happens if you can't hold all of that at the same time, then you don't get as upset or you don't get as euphoric. And when we go and reconsolidate that memory, it gets reconsolidated at a lower level. And if we keep doing that, the positive in terms of smoking will keep coming down until when you think about that memory that was like, when I was with the Joes and, we were smoking after that battle, it's not going to give you the same feeling or it's not going to bring up the same memory, the strength of that memory anymore.
Interesting.
Kind of cool.
What has been your personal accounting of success rate for those that do decide to transit? Do you find that those who hear what you have to say and take that route actually stick with it, and then maybe potentially wean themselves off of vaping? Do you get the follow-up stories? The where are they now?
Oftentimes, what I'm trying to do first is just to get them to stop smoking, and that's the combustible cigarettes. And if I can do that, that's what I'm trying to do. So as long as they're vaping still, I'm usually pretty happy about that, because you can have a choice of having nicotine. You're an adult, and so I just don't want you to kill yourself while you're doing it, So that's my idea, my thought. So as long as I'm getting them off of smoking, then we can talk about the next step. If they want to take that step, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Do you ever suggest nicotine for someone with neurodivergency or another issue? Do you ever actually suggest a patch to somebody who's never smoked?
It's a good question. I'm not an MD, right? So I have to stick within my scope of practice. So I'm very cautious about saying you should take something. What I will say is that, these are like with anything, because I work with people constantly. So I know all the medications that are out there. So I'll be like, have you talked to your doctor about this, right? And then you can go and have that conversation with a doctor. But no, I've never suggested somebody take something like that.
Okay.
Interesting.
I have a question, Tim, that's just popped into my head. PTSD is a serious problem with a lot of people who've been in the military, who've been in combat. And there seems to be a lot of evidence growing, and this is tangential to harm reduction, but evidence growing that microdosing with a counselor using psychedelic therapy is very effective for a lot of people. Do you have any thoughts on that?
If you're not on the train, you should get on that train, right? Because it's being. I think the VA is studying it now too, right? So I think there's a lot of places that are looking into that. With my concept of EMDR, it kind of fits that concept also, right? If I can change the way you're experiencing this memory at the same time by giving you, a psychedelic experience or that type of experience, then I can imagine that something similar would happen, where the next time that memory is reconsolidated, it's reconsolidated differently.
Yeah. So there's a lot more to it, right? Because you're trying to get the person to disassociate from trauma effectively by a change in behavior, so things aren't sort of a cyclical event. And then at the same time, vaping, unique as it is, the person that's coming off of the cigarettes, I'm sure you get all different types of varieties. I mean, you get people that are a pack a day, maybe even more. And then in that regard, that person may require a different type of tobacco harm therapy, let's just say, right? Because, they might be a pack and a half a day and they can't go get like, a 3 or a 6 milligram in an AIO and expect that to probably keep them consistently getting off of that cigarette, because it's not a relative experience, but not that initial delivery or the amount of nicotine that they are consuming with that same pack and a half of cigarettes. So do you offer those kinds of nuanced approaches and say, hey, how much do you smoke a day now? You might want to start with this and see how that goes.
Yeah, it's because, again, most of the work is with the VA. So I do have all of those resources at my fingertips with the VA. So we can have all of those things that we can talk about in terms of, having the support, again, the call lines, the text messages, in order to get the person to have that support they might need to cut down a little bit or cut down a lot of it. So that when they are using the NRTs or the vaping or the pouches, whatever their choice is going to be, that it's going to be efficacious for them.
What about Chantix Varenicline, that's also one of the smoking cessation tools?
Yeah, it's still prescribed under the not the brand name, under the original name. So it's still prescribed, and I believe it's still one of the more effective things. I know I forget the name of it, but there's another one out of England that we're trying to bring in too. That's supposed to be like rivaling the effectiveness of Chantix. I forget what it was though.
It's bupropion.
No, it's bupropion. We still have, right? It was something that we don't have here. If anybody knows what that is, I think it starts with a C, but I can't remember what it is.
That's what I was thinking. It starts with a C. That's as much as I can get.
We have a question there for you also. If you can see that question there, from one of.
I see something about Peggy's.
One of Peggy's employees have Asperger's syndrome. Nicotine with vapes have actually helped me with my sincere.
Yeah. Again, nicotine has a lot of benefits, right? And that's why I'm not, always being like, hey, you gotta get off everything. It's supposed to have benefits for, some benefits for people with memory issues, and there's a lot of studies going on with nicotine. And I believe the World Health Organization has nicotine as part of their medicines and their pharmacological medication list. So, I'm not going to badmouth nicotine just because other people are trying to make it a scary thing. It does have an effect for people, and I'm glad that the nicotine is helping you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I have noticed, I'm going to say like the innovation of the internet, let's go there, and the ability to access sites like WebMD and some of these other sites. What I've noticed is, depending on your doctor, most of us I've had the same doctor. He actually just retired. So I've had the same doctor for like 40 years. So, and I understood the openness of whether or not he wanted to try certain things. How do you feel about, having that do you think that's changing with the younger doctors that are coming in? And I know it's kind of hard for you to judge, but do you feel like they're more open? Because like mine, when as soon as I said WebMD, man, his face turned red, and he didn't want to hear a goddamn word I had to say about what WebMD said. And his openness, he's always been that way. I mean, I'll share a story. I was 12 years old, and my right leg at night would just feel like it was constantly moving. It didn't have a term for it then. It was restless leg syndrome, and they had no term for it. So I go, and my mom takes me to the doctor's like, hey, my son can't sleep. He can't focus in school. He's tired all the time. Right out of his mouth, John, you smoking marijuana? You taking drugs? And I'm like, no, man, I'm 12, dude. I'm 12. He's like,
but they would have helped.
Yeah, reefer madness.
Exactly. It would have helped. I learned that later that yes, pot does help restless leg syndrome. But do you feel like this next generation of doctors, you feel like it's going to be the same old when it comes to vaping, or do you feel like that eventually that they will start to look around and say, hey, look at this. This is working. Vaping is working, or mushrooms have been helping with this, and just kind of open up their idea of what's working and not always focusing on what the pharmaceutical companies have to offer?
I think that the new batch are interested in making sure that we're not falling into pseudoscience. So the science is good with vaping. So, but there's like in the VA we have acupuncture, right? Which is you can get it through Whole Health. We have hypnosis, right? And these things are still considered pseudoscience. They don't actually work in terms of they don't always show benefits in terms of RTC, but the anecdotal evidence, right? People say it works, so they're like, great, let's bring it in, right? So the younger doctors are trying to do things, in my opinion, are trying to do things that are more research based, trying to avoid the pseudoscience because there's so much of it out there, and I think that's going to help in this case. Because at some point they're going to look at this and be like, well, that's not what the science says. The science says this is helping people. It's quote unquote 95% healthier than a combustible cigarette. And that's within reason that's true. So they're going to be able to see that research. They're going to see, that in the past 20 years, the disparity in the death rates is just crazy. Yes, WebMD just tells you they're going to die.
Everything on WebMD is you're going to die.
Yes.
I think though the other piece of this is AI, right? Because right now I've even seen a commercial. They have like, you can go talk to the AI doctor, and if you want to talk to a real one, you can. So AI is going to be a huge leap and bound over WebMD. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. I had that experience my last eye appointment with the AI eye doctor. I was like, whoa, time out here. It's like I go in this room, I sit there, the chair's there, everything is there except the doctor and a 43-inch screen. And all of a sudden this AI doctor pops up, tells me to sit back, and the thing just comes into my face and the slides start going. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, man? And never saw a doctor ever. Then she would come in. She'd have the chart already done. It was all printed out. I was like, dude, is this going to be accurate? She's like, it's accurate, sir. I'm like, okay, just, making sure.
Wow. Okay.
And they still have the same money.
All right, here we go. Tim,
Yes.
what is your favorite line from a movie? Your favorite line from a movie?
Oh goodness. Every line is going to escape my brain right now.
Yeah, I know that's what happened.
My favorite lines. It's funny because I'm not thinking about a movie. I'm thinking about On Being Ill, which is a Virginia Woolf poem, which is pretty weird. But one of the things that for Virginia Woolf, and I'm not even going to get the line right, but she was talking about was how people don't understand other people's pain. And I can't remember the exact line, but the idea behind it still sticks with me, and it's something that I always talk about, is because people get upset because people don't commiserate with them, right? Like, well, nobody comes to check on me. I'm like, well, nobody wants to. Misery doesn't love company. They don't want to feel that. And she talks about that in On Being Ill in that poem. So I guess being a little bit too much of an intellectual, that's where my mind went. So apologize if it's not that much fun.
Let me hit you with one more.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Yeah, I'll be nice here. Okay, Tim. Again, these are to get to know you a little better. So our audience out there, what was that? Tim's first car?
I had my grandfather's Mercury Cougar. It was nice. It was a digital dashboard, so it was like
nice.
It was digital. It was really nice. I really drove that thing into the ground too. It was really nice.
It was. You said Corvair, right?
A Mercury Cougar, silver Mercury.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I had a Pontiac Firebird right after that.
Yeah. No. And one more here, and then we'll jump back. If you could put any franchise restaurant in your house, what would it be, Tim?
Well, this is an easy one because my mind immediately goes to Wendy's, because I like the Wendy's triple classic. I'll have 2 bites of it and I won't be able to finish it. It's the mouthfeel, right? It's not just the taste, but it's the mouthfeel, right? I do like it. Yes, that is one of my favorite bites. I haven't had it in probably a year, but it's because I'm trying to stay alive.
It's no good unless you put extra mayonnaise on it, though.
There you go. Yeah. Mayonnaise and ketchup. I love it.
There you go. Exactly, Tim. And pickles.
Yes.
Janine brings up a good question. I kind of want to get how you think we as I'm going to call us consumers, when we see a doctor, we are kind of a consumer. So how do you feel like us should go about that when we suggest what we're doing is working and we get the negative feedback, whether it's from a nurse practitioner or the actual doctor? How do you feel like, what is the best way we should go about that? Should we hand them Dr. Mendelson's book and just say?
I mean, you can agree with them on some level, right? Like, I have an option of, anything that you're going to breathe into your lungs is probably not going to be fantastic for you, right? However, I'm making an educated choice based on, my own health and what I think is going to be good for me and what I'll be, honestly able to do, right? Because I'm not going to stop smoking if I don't have this vape. So these are my choices. Either I do the vape, which is, much healthier, or I do something that's probably going to kill me over time. So, which one do you think that we should agree on working on here together with?
Exactly. I mean, that's that. If I'm not a doctor, but if I was a doctor and my patient had brought up vaping, and I as a doctor has seen him getting better, his skin's better, he's breathing better, he's losing weight, all these things are happening. I think as a doctor, I should want to understand a little bit more of what he's going through. If he's feeling so much better and he's getting clean chest x-rays and all this blood pressure is down, everything is much better than it was, say, 5-10 years ago. For me, I would say, okay, this plan is working. Teach me, educate me what you're doing, what's going on, how's this helping you? But yet I'm sure there are some doctors that are out there that are curious, and I'm sure that are interested. And when they do see a patient make a huge transition over the years due to vaping, but I'm sure there's still a lot, like, we see in our chats and on X, that the doctor just goes off and starts throwing all this bad science at them, and it's just like, if I were a doctor, I'd be like, hey, explain this to me. How's this helping you? Why is this making you feel better? What's going on? Why is your blood work better? Why is your chest x-rays cleaner? I would want to know all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I had a client that switched to vaping, and now he's off of he's cut all his blood pressure medications in half. He did it himself at first because his blood pressure kept dipping, and then he started to he got his doctor's permission to continue doing that. But the reality of the health benefits, people see them, and it kind of also promotes the idea that, hey, this is working for me, and I'm going to keep doing it because my blood pressure is going down. So might not be a little disclaimer. I'm not saying this is going to be the story for everybody, but this person's story is that he switched over and now he's getting off of certain meds. So there are some success stories out there.
All right, I have. I know this is kind of a weird question to ask you, but as far as, why do you feel that? Like, I would think that therapists themselves would be very, very curious of why this is working, being that their whole spiel is how the mind works and how the mind makes the body do other things. So for me, I don't understand why that field of medicine hasn't jumped on board and actually done their own research and say, hey, what is going on here? Why is this working? Why are patches not working? And I think if they were to share their ideas and of why this product is actually working for the human race, I think it would benefit us as advocates to have that message.
Yeah, I don't know of any specific like books or research or a lot of that research anyway hasn't really been done. So there's a room for more exploration on that level of why this is. We just have the idea, right? That the psychology, as you were saying before, of the hand to mouth, of these other things. But as I was saying before, we have a lot of pseudoscience out there, and a lot of anecdotal evidence, a lot of case studies and quality. We need some RTCs and some good, quantitative methods out there in order for the message to be more accepted among other academics in the world in general.
Anybody? Don't make me ask him this next question, guys, because this is a tough one.
I know the one you're gonna ask.
Yeah, you do, Tim.
I do. It's the one that makes me nervous.
You got something, Peggy?
All right,
yes,
you ready, Tim? You ready, Tim?
No, let Peggy ask a question first.
Oh, go ahead, Peggy. Go ahead. I'll let you go, Peggy.
Well, let's go back to like the funding thing, because I work with the VA, okay, and those are the only people that I see on a regular basis is through the VA, but they're not. Can I say they're not allowed to talk about vaping? Is that a fair assessment? Probably, because maybe the funding's not there for them to give them the opportunity to research it or the time to research it. And I would guess that'd be the same if anybody else's boss. If your boss doesn't believe in it, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it funnels down the system. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they do
does.
have
Yeah.
research. It's just not great research. And it was one of those types of things where they went in knowing the answer before they did the research. So,
How-
yeah.
I got a follow up to how much of that do you think is due to the way the FDA looks at vaping?
I don't have an
Yeah.
opinion on it. I
Yeah.
think most of it is, just people have preconceived bias, and they're not trying to disprove that bias at all. They're trying to say, this stuff is bad for you, and let's go show why. And I don't think that's helpful in terms of general discourse.
Yeah. All right, Tim, you ready?
We'll see.
The first song you remember learning all the words to was okay, and now this is teenage years. I don't want the the lullaby song. And could you sing a few bars of that song for us?
Well, this is tough, right? Because I'll give you the song in a second. But the thing is, I was never, I had hearing issues for a while when I was a kid. So being able to memorize, like I have a receptive issue where I can't actually memorize like full songs and stuff like that. And I'm probably not going to sing. So the song would be Pearl Jam.
Don't worry, you won't be the first or the last.
Yeah.
I didn't sing either, so you're okay.
Pearl Jam's version of "Where Oh Where Can My Baby Be?" Right, the Lord took her away from me. Right, I would sing at least the chorus of that song for to myself for a while.
You know what we'll do for you, Tim, because the other Tim up there is just a music aficionado, and I'm sure he knows the words to that song. So, Mr. Tim, would you like to sing a few bars to that song for Tim?
What was? I'm sorry, but I squelched out. I squelched out when he said the name of the song, and it was
Pearl Jam. Where Oh Where Can My Baby Be? I don't know if that's the actual name of the song, but
God, it's kind of it's one of their more interesting songs. It wasn't one of more of the gloomier like grunge type songs. It was like where oh where can my baby be? But you know how Eddie Vedder is. He's
Awesome,
kind of got
though.
this crooner kind of stuff. Where oh where can my baby be? That's it. That's all I got because I don't know the words after that.
Oh man. Any other questions, guys? We're all out of time, but I want to throw in. I know Michelle raised her finger. Go, Michelle.
Have him tell us how to get if you're a vet and you need some help, or you want to talk the situation over, or where do they go to find you?
Oh, for me, just go to paradiseinstitute.com. It's where I'm trying to collocate all my stuff. I'm moving over to St. Thomas, and so that's why I named it that. But I'm also hoping to eventually do some on-location coaching work for veterans and also some training work for clinicians. So bring them down there as a partner.
Yeah, everybody should know everything I have on Tim is on the header of the show. So if you need to find it's Facebook, I think I got everything on there, Tim. Let me make sure I have your website and your Facebook. Your Facebook on there and I think that's all you did. You don't have an X, right? You don't have an X.
I have an X. Yeah, my X is my most popular, even though could be popular, more popular.
Quick note to everybody: if you know a vet, it's Christmas, it's the holidays. You've got all these things coming up, plus Valentine's and everything else. For the next few months, if nothing else, please get in contact with your vets. The people that are living alone, the people that you feel may have issues, please have, contact them, even if it's once a week. But if you can do it every day, that's even better. Please don't forget our vets.
Yes. Yeah. And I have your website, Facebook, and IG on there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I have on there. Excellent. Anything else? I know Mr. Sir Charles has got something. I could see it in his eyes.
He's got something, huh?
He's got something.
Looking for it.
That's my favorite book.
Oh, yeah.
Things to Scream Into. It's my favorite book. I thought I'd share a secluded cave deep in the woods.
Very
There
cool.
you go. Yes.
I'll just reiterate my admiration for the work you do, Tim.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and I hope to continue it and keep getting that message out, make you all proud, and get more people off of combustible cigarettes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you jumping on the show and helping. And what you do is amazing. And as a father of someone who's in the military, I'm glad there are people that are out there that are like you, because I know the things that these gentlemen see every day. It's not easy. It's not easy. We go to work and we have to deal with a nasty supervisor or a boss that just kind of pisses us off. But these guys are out seeing things that you really don't want to see every day, and it's tough. It's tough. And before we go, the last question I have for you: what is the best piece of advice you have ever gotten, Tim?
That I've ever gotten.
Let me guess. It was a staff sergeant.
It
was a staff sergeant. No,
it was in the DEA. It was one of the people that one of the agents, and he said, you got to make you don't want to be in a job where you're unhappy, right? So you got to figure out how to make this job work for you, right? And so I always keep that in the back of my mind. Whatever you're doing, right? Be the best you can at it and make it work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I share that bit of advice with every single Gen Z that I work with every day in my office there. And I tell every single one of them, if this is not where you want to be, find something else that makes you happy. You're 22 years old. Go out there, find something that makes you happy. And you know what I tell every single one of them? If you can't find something, join the military. The military will straight you straight immediately. And these are all smart individuals, very smart. They all went and took the test. They all scored super high on these tests, and they can actually just walk in there and pick any field they want. And I said, if you can't figure out where you're going in life, they'll help you. They'll help you make sure you find your way.
I had no idea where I'd be when I joined at 17, so I had no idea where I'd be. But it's definitely a good choice to make for most people.
Yeah.
And still be sitting home on the same couch with the same friends on the same street, cruising on Friday night.
Playing Fortnite for 13 hours straight and then wondering why you can't keep your eyes open. All right, Tim, thank you again. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, Tim, this is you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, thank you, Tim, tremendously for being on the show and sharing your story and your contribution to THR and your contribution to this great nation. Really enjoyed the story. It's a different angle. I don't think we've ever gotten this level of insight and presentation and interaction in the THR space. Most of the time, it's vape shop owners and juice makers and hardware people and which are great. Charles is he stands alone. He's an icon. But that said, no, it's just different to see it.
Thank you.
Yes. Different.
Hey, I got one with all three of us. Three of us.
There you go. And I just every time the AI tries to make a picture of me, I look like some homeless trailer park. But I just truly appreciate your insight and your story and your journey in the space of tobacco harm reduction. So great to get it from this perspective. So thank you very much for that. Thank you to Peggy for being on the show. Come back on the show anytime. Be a part of the party now that you've broken the ice and we got you here. Charles, always wonderful having you here. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. Shelly, John, myself, we're old hat. We're here for the fun of it all, and thank you to the chat. Thank you guys for always being here week in and week out.
We have an anniversary coming up, Tim,
and we love having you guys here. Yes,
we have an anniversary coming, Tim. It's a big number that we've been doing this show together.
Our 400th show. What are we doing?
Be right
All right,
behind Brett with 10 years of faithful service.
Yeah, shoot. It's been a long, it's come far from where me and Tim started, because we started on the Facebook group page, and it was just our way of sharing information with everyone that was in there. And it was easy because at that time we were dealing with everyone that actually vaped. So there was no negativity there. It was just questions and answers to, how to set this up, how to make this coil. So it was fun, and transitioning to where we're at today and trying to get our message out there, and have an amazing guest to come on here and share the information. And that's something I think is so important for our industry. We have consumers, manufacturers, and we have retailers. But I've said this before, we still need scientists, we still need doctors, and we still need lawmakers to be part of this advocacy. And until that group is all together as one unit, I think advocacy where it is today, I think it's just going to stay there unless we get these other individuals to be part of this. We need scientific evidence. So we need scientists on there. We need doctors on there. We need lawmakers on there. And we've had what's his name that was running for Congress in Texas, I think, or Arizona, Tim, right? So it's important that we have those people that we know can make rules, can change laws and regulations. So until we have everyone together and one board, can you imagine a board of consumers, manufacturers, and retailers, and scientists, and doctors, and and lawmakers all on one board fighting for advocacy for this purpose only would be amazing. And hopefully someday we get that. I really do. So everybody, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy it. Tim, thank you again for being part of our show. And you are welcome back anytime. Anytime you want to jump in, you have something going on that you want to share, vape related or even VA, please let us know. And we would be more than happy to have you back on the show.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, look into the camera and say goodbye. Bye, everybody.